Joe Rogan is now apologizing after videos resurfaced of him using the N-word multiple times on his podcast, Patriot Takes, which put the video together as an organization that aims to expose extremism on the far right. The video is an edited compilation of different podcast episodes, and we have to warn you, this is very disturbing to hear.
Like, you know, the thing.
Yes.
Saying the word
I already said
is just like saying she's calling you like this boy that he's in and starts calling him third. There should be a word like, especially like the word that's our he says guy and there starts saying to use the word out the word see the word see and you couldn't say else.
Just unbelievable. Let's bring in CNN's chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian, what is Joe Rogan now saying?
He is now apologizing, and we're going to find out if that's enough for Spotify, the company that has an exclusive distribution deal with him. Jim, this is all coming to light because of the recent controversy about anti-vaccine rhetoric on Rogan's podcast. Some artists decided to quit the service. One of them, India Ari, pointed out this video, this compilation video, and pointed out that the language Rogan has used around race in the past is just as, or maybe even more problematic than his rhetoric about vaccines. We know Rogan's show is known for its fresh and frank and unvarnished conversations. That's why his fans like the show. But this compilation, this use of the N-word so many times in the past may be too much even for some of his defenders to bear. But here is, in Rogan's own words, part of his apology today.
I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. I never used it to be racist because I'm not racist, but whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you f***ed up. And I clearly have f***ed up.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, Brian
clearly has.
Yeah, he clearly has, and you and I both know that compilation right there, which he has admitted to, is authentic. That would be enough to put anybody out of a job. I mean, to me, it seems untenable to have that kind of video surface, that kind of compilation surface, and keep one's job. But Brian, there's another video that Patriot Takes put out, which I also want to play. It's a story Joe Rogan is telling of when he went to see what he describes as the planet of the apes. It's awful, but let's just show it and then talk about
it. And it says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, I'm in a good neighborhood. He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out, and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walked into Planet of the Apes. We walked into Africa, dude. We walked in the door, and there was no white people.
And Rogan addressed this in his video as well. What did he have to say about that?
Yes, that's right. These are multiple examples of offensive content on his podcast that he's trying to apologize for at the same time. Here's what he said about this part.
I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. The Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there.
I mean, so a lot of this is about money.
Trying to diffuse this. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
trying to diffuse this, Jim, and whether it's going to work is anybody's guess. We've been reaching out to Spotify, asking for comment. Spotify promotes itself as just a platform, where anybody can put up their podcast. But with Rogan, they're paying Rogan tens and tens of millions of dollars, reportedly $100 million for exclusive rights to his content, including these old episodes full of him using the N-word. Now, listeners of